Good day, everyone. My name is Alex Escobar, and I'm here today to talk about how police can reduce crime and improve community relations. How many of you are offended by this photo? An officer is playing games on duty in uniform, appears to be not doing his job. On the other hand, this officer is investing in the future of this child by showing him that officers are not just mean and take people to jail. If you haven't figured this out, this is me, and the child is my friend Christopher. During the pandemic, he had to go to his mom's work and be by himself most of the day. Me and a couple officers realized this and tried to eat lunch every day and play games with him because this was the only interaction he had with people most of the day. Because his mom had to work and he was sick and could not attend school, we kept him company during our lunch breaks. And I'm sure when he returned to school, he probably bragged about how he beat me at Parcheesi. So my question was to ask about innovative ways to change the relationship and still reduce crime. One of the things that we can do to change the relationship is to simply change our names from police officers to peace officers. This enables everyone to understand that we're not there just to arrest people, but we are there to keep the peace. An officer's best day at work is when he goes into service, doesn't have to answer a call, doesn't have any crime occur in his zone, and is able to go home. And we have basically done our job and kept the peace in the neighborhood and in the community. We also improve our relationships by attending many community events. Community events in the city of Coral Gables, such as the Big Toy event that we host every January, brings all the city's big toys, such as our dump trucks, our fire trucks, our police SWAT vehicles, our canine, our mounted patrol, our motorcycles, so that the community understands what they have at their resources, so that if they need our help, we can do whatever their request is, and they understand that how many of us there are. We have 8 motormen, 5 canines, 20 SWAT officers on a part-time basis, et cetera, and this makes the community feel much safer every time they understand that we're there for them. We also give out tours of the station. This shows that even when you come to a police station, it's our place of work. It looks very much just like any other place of work, such as a bank or such as a building office, and people understand and can relate that our situation is not that we just spend money and have our big buildings and big toys, that we're financially responsible and understanding that we want to provide the best service possible to our community. Our National Night Out just passed by, and we invited our neighborhoods, whether it was in a low economic section of our city or a higher economic section of our city, we invited everyone out so that they can meet and talk to our firefighters and our policemen. Our policemen that were on motorcycles, bicycle patrol, canine, etc. We all brought them out so that it could become a one-on-one interaction with anyone and everyone that decided to attend. We also like the kids to come out, so we had bounce houses and we had ice cream and cupcakes so that they could come out, understand that we are their friends and we are not just there to enforce the law. Attending our school and youth programs also have significant impact on our community relations. Our Police Athletic League, which I am heavily involved in, brings the kids who seem to be a troubled youth and gives them direction and focus of all that energy into sports, which enables them to understand and not get in trouble. I recently had an individual who I coached in football get into a fight, didn't realize I was the police officer on scene, and started to walk away from me. When I called him by his first name and he turned around, the first thing he said was, "Coach, I didn't start it." I automatically knew that the relationship I built with him, he understood that we had a bond and he wasn't going to run from me. Police Explorers is another way that we build trust within our youth. And if we invest in our youth, they themselves help us out more than anyone. They grow up understanding to respect police officers, understand what we do, and police explorers are a segue into becoming a police officer. Our Youth Directors Council is another leadership group that volunteers their time in multiple police events or parades, 5Ks, and they volunteer their time and work with us to show leadership skills, organization skills, etc., and that helps them on in the future, even though they might not want to be police. We try to attend every school career day that we are invited to. We do this so that when the children ask us our questions, we could explain what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and we never want them to be afraid of us. One of the worst fears that we have as a police officer is when the parents tell us and they see us because their child is misbehaving inside a store, they say, oh, the officer is going to take you to jail if you don't behave. On the contrary, we want them to understand that if for whatever reason they get lost, they think they're in trouble because they weren't listening to their mom or their dad, now they're hiding, now we're calling out their name, and we want them to come to us, not stay hidden because they're afraid we're going to take them to jail or that they're in trouble. So this is a misconception that we as police always try to make sure that the parents understand. It is not our job to discipline your child. It is our job to help your child. And when he is lost, the person you really want him to come to is the policeman. Our bike patrol and mounted patrol officers are another good way to improve community relations. Our bike patrol officers go up and down our downtown area along with our mounted police officer who rides a horse, and it's much easier to approach one of them and speak to them while they're walking by. Officers are in cars, and yes, you could drive by and say hi to them, but many of our officers on bike patrol and mounted patrol stop, talk, engage in the community, talk to the kids, pass out stickers, pass out pencils, and they end up becoming somewhat friends shortly after the encounter. We want them to understand that the young people, when they grow up, they could count on us to help them as opposed to just taking people to jail and enforcing the law. So other ways we can reduce crime and improve relations is coffee with a cop. Many times you sit down and you're talking with someone and they come up with good ideas. We as police officers don't have all the answers, and sometimes many of the communities people or people in the community come up to us and they're able to give us good ideas on how to solve their issue in their community. We're not experts in their community, even though we drive it every day, but no one knows their community better than themselves. So when we have coffee with a cop, it enables the citizens to speak with us one-on-one and get them to know us a little bit better, but it also gets us to know them and their needs a little bit better also. Social media is another great way to improve community relations. We show them what we do, all of our events and toys, and that we care about our community. We take multiple pictures and show, just like any other social media, what we do and what we like to do. Body cameras help us tell the entire story every time there's a, let's say, an unfortunate incident. Many times other people record incidents where someone gets arrested or the officer has to slam the individual down to the floor. But what you don't see is what led up to it. Our body cameras gives us the ability to show the entire story. Quick example, one time I spent 37 minutes trying not to arrest someone, and he just kept going on and kept going on, and I even walked away and said, "Sir, you are free to go." The gentleman came back and unfortunately wouldn't leave the area, and I had no other choice but to remove him from the area, and the only way I had to remove him from the area is by taking him into custody. Many people recorded the incident, but they only showed that I arrested him rather quickly, as opposed to spending 37 minutes trying to get him to leave, and I walked away from him, and he ended up coming back and getting arrested. Our neighborhood team leaders are also a great way to improve community relations. They are in charge of addressing quality of life issues. This is the same concept of the broken windows concept, that they go out and ensure that they show that the city cares about their neighborhoods and their communities. They're each assigned a certain section of our city. They go out, and if they see a abandoned house with a broken window where multiple children either go in and skip school, or people start using it as a drug hideout to smoke or inject their drugs. They take care of those issues just the same as if a light is out, a street light is out at night, and we need to replace it. They have basic one-on-one. They are more in depth in the communities, and almost anyone and everyone who lives in their area has their cell phone number so that they could address the needs of those individuals. Plus, there's extra eyes in the area specifically for that person. We also have neighborhood safety aides, which they end up driving around and calling anything in, and they're kind of like our public service aides, but they're more to ensure that they drive around, they'll move your package from your front door to around the house or around the side, just so that you don't have a porch pirate come up and take your package that you've been waiting a week or two for. Our See Something, Say Something campaign is a very popular campaign that if you see something in your neighborhood that just doesn't seem right, we want you to say something by calling us and alerting us so that we could send officers out. Many times, many people come up to us and say, man, I saw a green car parked there for a couple hours and I didn't know what he was or she was, and yet those are the people we were looking for, and if they just would have said something, officers would have been on the scene to avoid a crime or possibly even a violent crime. Our Safer Watch app is geared more to those individuals that like to use apps and not talk on the phone. This allows you to take a picture, show what the problem is. Let's say it's a traffic issue of people blocking the box, and they can send it in and we'll send out officers this way. This automatically goes to our dispatch where they monitor it. We create a call and we could easily send officers to that area. The Safer Watch app is more geared to younger people who unfortunately or fortunately don't like to speak to people on the phone, and they're able to text and send pictures in a quick and efficient way. Our problem solving initiative is where we bring all of our city leaders, our police chief, our fire chief, our Parks and Recs director, our IT director, and many other directors into our initiative in a meeting every quarter, and we try to solve problems that are occurring in the city. Fire department, like I said, parks, public works, and our IT department all come together to help out and show our community that we care for them and we're going to address whatever issues they are. This is very helpful because sometimes when police are tied up and we're looking for individuals, we'll send our fire department bolos or people that we're looking for, cars that we're looking for, and on the way back from calls, they might see the individual and they're able to notify our dispatch, and we might be able to go over there. It's that extra set of eyes out in the parks or extra set of eyes out on the road with fire or public works that helps us have even more eyes on the street to keep everyone safe. Our IT department also helps out because they can set up cameras and have the live feed put into our dispatch so we could have people looking at anything within the city to help reduce the crime. That concludes my presentation today. If anyone has any questions, please reply and I'll try to answer them by the end of the week. I thank you all for your time and I hope you have a great day. This concludes and have